Welcome back, crew, to world-famous 79th Street boat ramp down at Pelican Harbor here in Miami. We've got our first crew of the day coming in. Gonna be an interesting day down here for sure. You can tell by the flag, the wind is whipping a little bit. Let's see how our crew does on approach. And winds up smacking the dock. His mate looks like he goes for the grab on the pole. Cap's gonna leave the helm to try and assist. And they've at least got the dock. They're hanging on. And we've got somebody who's gonna go up, and he's got a line in hand, and they should be able to pull it over from here. But welcome back, crew, to the greatest show on earth, and that is the Miami Boat Ramps channel. I'm your host, Broncos Guru, and as we already mentioned, today we're down at 79th. And here comes the old whaler gang looking for a dock, but I can tell immediately they've got the engine trimmed up, and that one hurts when you're trying to come in, especially on approach like this, because you lose some of that bite from the propeller, which means everything happens a little slower. As you can see right there, he shifts gears, but it's all gonna happen just a hair slower without having that full bite of the prop and having the engine trimmed down. Most of the time when we see people doing this, they don't even realize it, and I'm assuming Cap's in the same boat here, that he's not quite sure why he's not getting full grip. But it's just because the engine's not trimmed down. They must have trimmed it up when they left the sandbar or when they were coming in here, and let's see how that one fares for them. But I got a feeling they're probably going to struggle. The wind is whipping down here today, and without getting that motor all the way in the water, being able to bite and grip, it's going to be a tough one. And Cap already looks like he's kind of struggling. So he's going to back out, and it looks like they're going to get snaked on. There's another boat just to the right here that's going to go ahead on the dock that Cap was going for, but they're just going to go ahead and move in on him. So he backs out and is going to have to line it up one more time. I mean, they're pretty prepared. We got fenders out on both sides. We've got the ladies ready with the lines. And here he goes on approach again. And again, doesn't like the approach and is going to have to brake check it out. And you can just see the way the water's kicking back out. Oh, watch out, jet ski! And our jet ski's going to cut right behind him. Another close call, especially with the engine trimmed up like that. That could have easily caused damage to the jet ski had they hit. Because you can just tell by the way the water's spinning here, the prop is just barely underwater. So it starts to make the turn. And the crew that snuck in on them is having their own set of difficulties as they try and dock. You can see here in front of them, their plan's not going well either. So when they snuck in, they were attempting for 2 originally and have now wound up on 3. But we've got somebody on the dock with a line, so at least they're there. But that'll just show you how much the wind's affecting everybody today. I mean, this crew, again, lined up, heading for one dock, and winds up having to shift. So let's roll back over to Whaler Gang and see how they're faring. And they're going to try and fight the wind to come in on this one as well. Cap again backs out for some reason. So again, he's backing out on it. He really didn't like the approach. Again, a lot of this I still think has to do with the engine being trimmed up. He's trying to battle the wind. He really needs to try and land on one of the odd number docks here. Let the wind push him in. Gonna make his life a whole lot easier than trying to fight it. So I can't, is she switching lines? We might be switching it up. Captain might have figured it out, but still he's gonna turn the motor, gonna kick the stern out here at the last second. Gonna come heavy bow in. The lady's got a hand on the dock. Our one fender's not doing much up front as he starts smacking around on it and then brings the engine back around and finally is able to get alongside the dock. But man, it was an interesting attempt. Again, I still think this would have been a whole lot easier. The biggest key on this one, had they had that engine fully trimmed down, they would have got the bite they were looking for, and I think they would have landed this a whole lot sooner, but luckily for them, they'll get on. So our crew's coming in on approach. Gonna go with the wide approach. I mean, he kind of has to. He's got to get that heavy bow in approach with the wind blowing right to left across our screen. They're gonna need a little bit of an angle to be able to force their way in on this one. So here we go, on approach on number 2. And we're just gonna play a little bumper docks as our guy's gonna go ahead and smack the dock as he comes in. Good thing it was right on the rub rail. It was like the perfect height for that one today. But now Cap's gonna leave the helm, which we never recommend, but they're on. These things are definitely becoming more of a common occurrence down here at 79th Street. I've seen several of them over the past couple weekends. But man, let me know what your thoughts on these are in the comments below. I mean, basically, I've looked them up before, and it's like some sort of jet ski conversion where they take a jet ski motor and put it in this makeshift car-looking hull, and you wind up with what they call a jet car. I mean, it's kind of a neat concept, kind of interesting looking. I don't know that I want one as like a permanent vessel, and I got a feeling the novelty of owning one would wear off pretty quickly. But I mean, as a rental or something like that, it might be a decent investment in that. I mean, once again, the novelty factor will always be there if you're continually renting it to people, especially here in South Florida. In Miami, I can see this being an appealing thing as people come down, decide they want to go to the sandbar and rent a boat. If they're going through boat rentals and see one of these, I bet their interest would definitely be piqued on that. So our guy is approaching the dock, coming up on 6. Same thing we've already talked about for everybody today. That wind's blowing right to left across the screen. It appears he got a good angle on it. A little better than a lot of people we've seen today. But I don't see any cleats on this thing. He doesn't have any lines in hand. So he just goes ahead and grabs the dock and is hanging on now. Now he's trying to reach for a line, it looks like. And as he lets go, that wind's going to try and push him off. But I didn't see any cleats, so that would be another good question on this one. Where the heck do you tie off unless there's a cleat inside the car to tie off on? And here we can see he's struggling, trying to hold on to the dock. The bow of the car is definitely pushing out with that wind. And another one, like this is one of those ones you wouldn't want to smack the dock with. I have to imagine the integrity on this thing is not quite the same as a pretty heavy-duty fiberglass boat. It might be. I don't know. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. But our guy's hanging on for life as the car's trying to float away now. He's probably going to have to get the assist. I'm assuming he's waiting on one of his friends to come down here, but hopefully they'll get there soon and be able to give him a hand. But thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Miami Boat Ramps. If you did, please check out our other content. We have Wavy Boats, who does a bunch of great things down at Haulover Inlet. My channel, Broncos Guru, do some great comedy boating videos there as well. And of course, we got Boats vs. Haulover, where man and machine take on Mother Nature down at Haulover Inlet. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.